Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Sharang. Welcome to this wonderful masterclass that we have in store for you on artificial intelligence and empowered teaching and learning in business schools, hosted by the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign campus and the Gies College of Business specifically. We have folks here from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign Gies College of Business in as part of the panel. But before that, before I get on to what they are doing, I want to understand a little bit more about the audience. So we've got the chat option open. I'd like to invite the 110 of you, 112 of you rather, who've here. Tell us which city you are joining in from, which city and country you are joining us from. Use the chat option and try and let us know. We'd like to understand on which different parts of the world are we, having students here. We've got Mayur from India, Pune, New Delhi, Pune, Silvassa, Mumbai. Great, we are from Mumbai as well. Nikita is here from Indore. We've got most of the folks from Mumbai, Delhi. Any other cities can we see? Okay, we've got someone from Tamil Nadu, Kolkata. We've got Glenda who's joined us from Ghana. Welcome, Glenda. Devansh here is from Bikaner. Welcome, Surat. So it seems like folks are from the length and breadth of India. Folks from Ghana as well. Welcome to our colleagues from West Africa. We've got Success who's here from Nigeria. So folks from Nigeria, Faridabad, Agra, Noida, different parts of the country in India as well. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking our time. We're already 200 people in this session, and over the next 60 to 75 minutes, we'll learn a little bit about this wonderful new topic of artificial intelligence that is impacting all of our lives, just to understand how it's impacting learning and teaching at business school, something that most of you might be interested in pursuing a master's or an MBA, primarily in the US. And we've got wonderful panelists from the Gies College of Business in University of Illinois. Wonderful to meet all of you. Little bit, we want to know the audience a little more. So we've got some poll questions, and I'm going to try and gauge some bit of understanding. You can see a question that's popped up on your screen, and also if you can't see it popped up on your screen, you can click on the poll button. What is your primary motivation for pursuing a master's in the USA? Tell us, why are you considering, if you're considering, what are some of the primary factors that impact your decision about pursuing a master's program in the US versus a lot of other places in the world that you are? We've got options like career advancement opportunities, access to world-class education, which most of the top North American colleges provide, networking. It's extremely important that to network in terms of building your prospective career. Global connections, the USA is a place where you'll find people from all over the world. Entrepreneurial ambitions, if you've got a lot of people here looking at entrepreneurship, you should consider that. Personal growth and skill development or other. We've spent about a minute on this. We've got a hundred about 45% of you that have answered these polls. If you haven't answered the poll, I'm going to keep it open for the next few seconds itself to understand a little bit about your primary motivation to pursue a master's. I'm going to end this poll now and share the results for each of us on the screen. We can see that most of you, or rather half of you, are looking at career advancement opportunities. So we're looking at what happens after you pursue a business master's or a master's program in the USA. What are some of the career advancement opportunities? And we'll talk about that in this panel. We've got some Q&A at the end, so we'll encourage each of you, if you have any questions for any of these panelists, you can put them in the Q&A tab, and all the relevant ones will be asked to these panelists. We'll cover, a lot about the masterclass, which is artificial intelligence and how it's impacting teaching and learning in business schools. But we'll also talk a little more about the University of Illinois and the Gies College of Business primarily, and how you could get in, or you could be one of the students at this wonderful university. So all of this in the next 60 to 75 minutes. And what I'm going to do right now is one by one, I'm going to introduce our wonderful panelists, and each of them have a 10 odd minute presentation on this wonderful topic. So I hope you're taking up notes. I hope your chat section is super active. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Q&A tab. We'll ask all the relevant ones. There are close to 300 of you that have joined in. So thank you so much for joining us from your mobiles, laptops, iPads, wherever you are joining us from. I'm going to quickly add Dr. Zhang to Spotlight, and you'll be able to see Dr. Zhang on your screens right now. Dr. Zhang is an adjunct assistant professor of finance at the University of Illinois. He holds an MBA in analytic finance and entrepreneurship from the University of Chicago, as well as he's done his PhD in electrical and computer engineering from University of Minnesota. Um, he's currently the adjunct professor of finance at University of Illinois, and he's contributed from at University of Illinois from 2019 all the way until 2022 and further. He's done a lot of works in the field of data analytics and now in artificial intelligence himself. And he's going to be taking us through a little bit about a nice financial innovation case that he has. So less of me, more of you, Dr. Zhang, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Sharam, and nice to meet all of you. And good evening, good morning, and apparently I can tell many of you are actually from India, and we just had a very nice Indian food in my life for the past 10 years. Just recently, last month, after bringing the CFA Research Challenge team to go to one of the best of the Indian restaurants here on Champaign. So there are a lot of very nice Indian restaurants here on campus. But I really enjoyed it. I tried it chicken vindaloo, which is very super spicy for me. Okay, but let's come back to the topic. As what Sharon just had mentioned, that like I have been actually supervising and also guiding and teaching at Gies College of Business over the past over 6 years. My research focus mainly is on the fintech and financial innovation as well. So today, I would like to actually spend some time to talk about one of the causes related to that cover the latest of financial innovation, especially about the generative AI, because I guess that's the key topic for this. Now, since the introduction of the ChatGPT in March 2023, that the whole world actually start to embrace this new technology advancement or disruption of the generative AI. Apparently, in the overall financial industry, that we see a huge demand just for the people having the capability of generative AI. And if you actually have seen what really happened in the US financial market over the past year, and even starting at the beginning of this year, that a lot of investment bank and big financial institutions, including the BlackRock, Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, and Blackstone, and many hedge fund, etc. They continue to lay off huge amount of people, which is what people say the traditional banker, just with only the background from the finance knowledge. That's actually, you can tell. Now, the financial institution are actually at the forefront of adopting the latest of generative AI, which actually can enhance the operational efficiency and simultaneously may try to bring the edge of the AI to the trading and investment. So by inheriting some of the philosophy of there, I actually developed this course which help the student here to be empowered with the latest of technology, especially with the generative AI. So that's the core content of this courses. So we actually really emphasize applying the latest generative AI, not just to learning about the generative AI, but simultaneously apply it into the real financial application, including the trading, decision making, risk management, and alpha factor research, and so on. So here, this is just a high level description about the courses. But mainly here, we try to actually incorporate it, some of the latest research and technology available, including the tools such as the Open AIs and Gemini and AWS and Google Cloud, the platform, try to embed it into some real application scenario, which I'm going to talk cited a little bit. But as you can actually tell, just few companies are really taking the lead in moving the technology, especially general AI, forward, especially like OpenAI, Microsoft, Meta, Facebook in the past, and Google and NVIDIA and so on. Apparently, just from our point of view, that if we actually continue to go through to actually trace the development of the technology, that if from a financial perspective, it actually is not in the best interest of for anyone to continue to trace without the huge inflow of the capital. Because nowadays, like we need, everyone might know that if you actually want to actually continue to lead the large language model, then you need chips. You need a lot of human capital and smart people, like Sora recently about the text to video generation. So this it's actually it raised the barrier or the bar to actually compete in this field into a very high domain. So this is actually very, very difficult for any firm, or especially a startup firm, to actually control. But for business students' perspective, we actually try to take a slightly different approach. So instead of pursuing the latest technology, so we actually, from us to for maybe field of view in the future that I will actually see you, what we are trying to do is we try to integrate it into the financial application. So that's actually the purpose when we talk about in the case. So this course, some of the knowledge that you already accumulated in the past through your learning experience, either through your college education or through your working experience. And many of you, I believe, that before coming to the United States, that you already accumulated a lot of working experience. This is so far I have been. I'm very impressed by a lot of you very smart talents who have been working in the big firms, international firms back in India and other places before coming to the States. Very hands-on, so that which actually allow you to taking the lead by applying and integrate this latest technology into the real cases. For instance, some of the cases or assignment that we are doing here is trying to leverage the latest of AI, trying to interpret some of the financial appearance, such as the Federal Reserve conversation. As some of you might have heard about that, it's like the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, which actually have a huge impacts over the financial market movements. Any time, any moment, whenever the chairman now is Chairman Powell, every time when he actually started to talk about the policy for the Federal Reserve with regard to the rate, the interest rate hike past, either going up or either going or cutting the rate going down, that the market would move significantly and dramatically. And a lot of hedge fund and financial institutions are very wary about this change, or even some minor tone or minor change over his talk. So in this courses, we are actually trying to build a case that you students will learn how to actually using the OpenAI's and some Whispers API to decode or decipher the Federal Reserve talk to build a trading system. So which actually tend to be very powerful and very interesting. So through this kind of a case, just vertically embedded into the financial applications, you can gain your edge. Apparently, this is just one cases. The other cases might be some trading bots. So some of you might really like doing the trading and trading the either U.S. stock or either Indian stock. And from my perspective, I think the next decade of the financial market actually really lie into India. So I actually really encourage all of the Indian students, like in the course or even at Gies College, just continue to invest back to India rather than actually invest into the U.S. Apparently, even though U.S. might still be good, but I think the next decade will still be the decade of India. So we actually trying to build some training board just for the Indian market at the moment, using the Indian ETF, just trading on the US as a proxy. So this is, well, as you can see, these are some of the real application, which actually, whenever, regardless whether in the future that you are going into the investment firm or asset management firm or trading firm, a hedge fund, and so on. So you can rapidly just relate it to what you have learned in the classroom to the real application immediately, hands-on. So from what I have seen, it's like most of the students, especially those ones who had already taken the courses here related to generative AI, and later on, I think Professor Staff and also Professor Du actually also have other similar courses tied centered around the AI, and we have been doing the research together. So you can see this is a lot of things would just prepare you into your future career. And as what Saran just showed, that many of you just retaking the career advancement as one of the major initiatives. I think this is setting you as a great foundation going forward. That's all my introduction today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Zhang, for that wonderful presentation. Just going to quickly add myself to Spotlight. If you have questions for Dr. Zhang, he's going to be around here just for a few more minutes. So please use the Q&A tab. Ask some of the questions if you have. Right now, we've had Dr. Zhang questions more on the program and the admission criteria. So no questions now for you. What we'll do is we'll let you carry on. If we have any questions, we'll route them to you, and then we'll try and find a way how we can get these questions answered for the students. But thank you so much, Dr. Zhang. This has been extremely insightful, extremely wonderful. And if folks have any questions, feel free to write them in the Q&A tab about the wonderful presentation by Dr. Zhang. But for now, we absolutely thank you for everything, and we shall be in touch, and we'll reach out to you once we've got something.
Yes, I will be here online for a few minutes, answer the question over the chat. So if you have any question for me, this is the add on the chat. I will actually try to type in and answer simultaneously. Okay.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Zhang. Now, we've got the next set that we'd like to talk about, and we have Dr. Vishal Sachdev, who has joined here. He's the director of the MS Analytics program and the Teaching and Learning Faculty Innovation Scholar at the Gies College of Business. He's been an assistant professor of the business administration, and he's been with Urbana-Champaign since 2008. He's held multiple positions. He's also been honored as the Emerging Award for Excellence in Public Engagement for his local, national, and global contributions with Maker Lab, which is one of the interesting pieces which we'd like him to talk about during his presentation. So less of me, more of Dr. Vishal Sachdev. Thank you so much for taking out time, for the session, and we'd like to learn more about your takes on artificial intelligence.
Sure, thank you. Can you all hear me okay? Yes. So thank you all. Pleasure to meet you. I'm in the information systems group at the College of Business. So, we have finance, accounting, and Professor Fei and Professor Zhang, we are sort of representing all three units of the College of Business. And as, I've been here about 15 years, different roles, right? The Maker Lab is a 3D printing lab set up in a College of Business. We have, multiple master's programs, and in several of those, we are actively using AI in the classroom, and not just in the classroom. As Professor Zhang said, many of these go into research projects, and many a time students like you who come with a lot of industry experience or just a passion for learning will work with many of these faculty on these research projects. So, Professor Zhang and I have worked on, blockchain analytics as well. So you have a lot of opportunities to leverage emerging technology, learn it, maybe in the classroom, maybe outside in several different ways. And then you have opportunities to apply it with real companies, with real problems in different ways, shapes, and form in pretty much every program that you do. And there are enough opportunities outside. So like we are talking about AI in education here, but learning and then delivering actual products is also possible when you join any program at the College of Business. So don't think if you're talking about AI in the classroom, that's the only place where you get to use and try out these new tools, right? So there's a lot of investment on campus, a lot of for example, most of us will have some grants or positions which provide funding to research to try it in the classrooms. So it's a really great place to come and learn. So hopefully some of you will. So I will share one example of a course where I am using AI as integral to the course, but really if any one of us start using this in one class, we are pretty much using it everywhere, right? So I teach courses on databases where I use this as well. So the different applications and different courses. This is an IT strategy course where students are learning. It's an introductory course, so students are learning about how information systems can create value for a business, right? So it's not about really understanding the detailed technical part, but more about applying information systems to create business value. So a lot of case studies, a lot of discussion, a lot of frameworks, right? We are often talking about strategy rather than technology, right? So yes, strategy informed by or enabled by technology. So in that context, we have, I have integrated large language models, and of course, ChatGPT, or GPT 3.5 and GPT-4, which power the backend interface for this. So I've used it probably in 6 or 7 ways in that one course itself. So I'm demonstrating just one example. And I think the overall idea, I think the Professor Zhang also mentioned, is that AI sort of makes you much more productive, right? You can do a lot more. But at the same time, you've got to figure out how to use it effectively so that you're actually learning and you're not replacing your learning with AI, but using AI for augmenting your learning. And then of course, productivity, right? You are, when you come here for a master's program, you're coming here for 1 year, 15 months, 18 months, and then you want to go back into the industry and be more productive as a result of that, right? So that's the big idea, right? AI as augmentation for learning and then for productivity. So in this case, in this course, we have a lot of discussions, we have a lot of case studies. So one such activity is where we are trying to get students to have an informed opinion on the role of IT as a source of competitive advantage, right? The background is that we've had so many years of IT investments. Everybody has easy access to all the machine learning algorithms, ChatGPT, and even the premium version is $20 a month. All the cloud infrastructure is available to everybody. So then one perspective is that IT is no longer a source of competitive advantage. It's just something that you need to invest in and stay up to date with. Of course, the opposite side is, yes, it has some competitive advantage. So there's a set of readings that are available. And then students, before they actually debate with each other, right? They're assigned, half the classes assigned a position saying IT does matter. Half the classes assigned IT does not matter. Now, before students actually debate with each other, it's not a live debate, like this is online asynchronous. So this is all happening on discussion forums. So the first step is that students debate with a bot which is assigned the opposite position, right? So they are sharing their arguments. the bot is responding, because the bot has been given a prompt where it takes that position, right? So my job is to write the best prompt, right? Or, prompt engineering, right? And then the bot takes over the conversation with the student, and the student has a few interactions. And then once they've finalized their response after reading what the bot is saying opposite to their position, then they can have a better conversation with each other, right? So that's the idea, right? Simulate uh, essentially a debate without actually having a real student, and then actually debate. So I'll show you. The infrastructure is, we are doing this in Discord. Discord is another chat platform which many of you might use. And the reason is because I can actually monitor what students are doing and and what the bot is saying. So otherwise, if you just use ChatGPT or whether, you don't really monitor what's going on, because that's the important part, right? How students are using AI is important, because my opinion is that the output will usually be good, but you're just going to make sure that students don't sidestep the learning, right? So here are some screenshots. So this bot is named Erin inside the server, and every student is interacting with the bot. And so, the debate opener, the bot says, here's what we are talking about. My key argument, right? So the bot is acting like a person, that IT is as a commodity, right? So the bot is saying IT does not matter. And the student, which you see at the bottom, I've hidden the student name, is saying, but IT is actually about how people use it, right? It's not about the technology, but it's about how people use it. So second response from the bot says, yeah, that's a great point you made, but yes, value does depend on how it's used. But looking back at what this person says, and the focus article was from Nicholas Carr, says that as IT is more common, more available, it's not really a source of competitive advantage. It's just infrastructure, like electricity, right? The student says something else, the bot says something else, and this goes on. If the student does it right, this goes on for 5 or 6 turns, right? Yeah, sometimes this is not ideal. Maybe the students don't do all that conversation, but the benefit is that the student is sort of getting primed, is clarifying their thinking, is understanding the opposing point of view before they create their own 500-word response to another student. And then these two students, who both spoken with bots with opposing ideas, are now debating each other for one more round, right? So that's an example of a chat bot, or an LLM simulating a student. And there are several such examples of using this in innovative ways. And you can read about it on our website, on my profile. I publish regularly, so if you're interested in this, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I think that's all my deck was about. Happy to take questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vishal Sachdev, for this wonderful presentation. Great. We're moving on very quickly. This has been wonderful. If you have any questions for Dr. Vishal Sachdev, please use the Q&A tab. Till now, we can see questions more from the admissions point of view, not much on the topic yet, but we do expect a lot of these questions coming in. So if you have any thoughts about any of the presentations that have come in so far about artificial intelligence and how it impacts learning and teaching at top business schools, I would recommend that you post them right now. Dr. Vishal is going to be hanging around for the next few minutes, so I'd request the 358 of you that are still here to use the chat box to ask any kind of questions. At this point in time, I also would like to invite Dr. Fee Du, who's going to also take us through a little bit about this wonderful topic on AI and empowering teaching and learning in universities. Dr. Fee Du is the associate professor of accountancy at the at the Gies College of Business, and before that, she's also taught at the University of Hong Kong. Her focus is majorly in managerial accounting and the research on that, and she's done a lot of research that focuses on social preferences and social equity in managerial decision making. I've heard this presentation before, and I know that this is extremely compelling. So I'd recommend that folks that, if you have a pen, paper around you, start making notes because this promises to be a super engaging one. Less of me, more of Dr. Du, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ja. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to talk with all of you here. Although I cannot see your faces, I look forward to seeing some of you on campus in University of Illinois in the future. In last semester, the class that I taught, actually over 50% of my students come from India. So I taught in the same program with Dr. Vishal, where Dr. Vishal is the academic director. It's a great program, and there are many good features about it. For these great students that I had, I also formed good relationship with them. Two of my current research assistants are students from India. I'm impressed with their superb coding ability, their insights with data, and also their proactive working attitude. I hope I will have a chance to get to know more from some of you in the future on campus in person. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the course that I currently teach, which is a course that focuses on how to get insights from real-world business data and focus on the storytelling part of it. Let's start with a game, right? So if we are looking at right here, we are looking at a major list: economics, marketing, journalism, communications, literature, theater. So let's choose a random of that. Okay, so the random choice gave me journalism. Now let's see, I also choose among digital, big data, computational, analytical, robotic. Okay, now we have big data. So seemingly economics and marketing is, I don't know, old cliche, whatever, but let's see if we put random word from data and random word from major list. Now you get big data journalism. Now it's something that sounds really cool and sounds really future-proof and futuristic. So it means that in the future, not only computer science will take good advantage of data, but many majors, many business-related majors are going to take great advantage of this big data world that we're going to have, right? Now, in terms of handling data, what would be an important feature that a data analyst have? Okay, so let's say that here I put a manipulation game where I say, okay, if you put on the right lens, it helps you to see the world in a more clear way. And ideally, when you become a data analyst, you also can help others see the world in a more clear way. Right now, you don't see what this picture is, right? But when we put on the right lens, you begin to see this is actually the main building, the Follinger Consortium in the University of Illinois. So when you do come here, I strongly encourage you to come to this place for a nice theater, for a nice concert. Former President Obama and also the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, have delivered a keynote speech in this Follinger Museum. So it's a great place to come to. Okay, so when it comes to the way of handling data, what are the different ways of handling data? We don't want to handle the data using manual labor. We want to do it in an automated way. When it comes to presenting things, I strongly encourage my students do not just focus on statistics and tables and p-values. Rather, we would have visualization, dynamic dashboard, and a great storytelling. The two very different skills related is that maybe some of you have strong programming skills, maybe some of you do not, but something we strongly encourage in our program is actually computational thinking. It gives you application that you can apply your skill not only to one specific program, say Python or C++ or Java. It gives you the transferable skill that you can apply to different platforms, to different AI infrastructure, and to different software platform. Okay, so we probably, yeah, why not? I hope this can run very fast. So this will be something that kind of like what we do in a real class environment, where very quickly we pull some data from the real trading world about the SP 1,500 companies. Well, in the future, after hearing Dr. Jiang's presentation, I probably develop also some gateway data related to the Indian market, right? So we take a look at NVIDIA and AMD. For those of you who have some trading experience, you know that these two stocks make great returns from last year. Okay, it's embarrassing if this is not a show back. Okay, so this is what we are seeing is a very interesting stock plot. You can see that before a certain time period, the stock price of NVIDIA and AMD completely almost exactly the same trend. And after a specific point, you see that NVIDIA has superior return compared to AMD. And if I ask my students to guess, what would be this specific difference that if you put a cutoff right there, you would see a difference in the stock return for these two stocks? And usually my students give me really good answer. They will say, this is the time where ChatGPT comes out. And after that, you see that NVIDIA starting to have superior return compared to AMD. Now, based on this starter question, right, there are so many questions that people can continue to ask. Now, can you specify the superior return before this trend happens? Why is the reason that the coming out of ChatGPT is going to lead to the superior return of NVIDIA, but not AMD? Can you generate some financial data and accounting disclosure data to see a specific trend there? So those are going to be the starter questions that I give to my students when they're in my class, and later on they are going to be asked and charged with answering this starter question with related business data, and then related with the the business insight, and using some nice business visualization skills to answer that. My role, I would say, in this trip for my students is more that I challenge my students to overcome with the fear when working with the data. I also try to make them comfortable in getting their hands-on experience with swimming and navigating in this big world of the ocean of the data, which is a great volume there. In my teaching, I developed I recently published a book that is based on computational recipes to gain insight into businesses, which is sort of combination of the machine learning algorithm AI that we use to address some business questions. And in that, we teach students the analysis skills to analyze text, to analyze images, to analyze human faces, human sentiment, linguistic style, and also dynamic plotting and web scraping. Now, you may ask, like, wouldn't that be too intense for one semester? Of course. Now, the reason why we will be able to deliver this intensive class in like one semester of time is that we do now have AI as a helper for coding. For today, I probably don't have sufficient time there, but I do post some materials on my website. If you're interested on LinkedIn, you can also follow that. What is my class? What is the AI's role in my class? I think AI is a helper for sense making. Now, when you don't put on the right pair of lens, when you're seeing a desert, you only see the desert. However, when you put on the right lens of data analysis skills, you begin to see the world. It becomes really juicy. It becomes really excellent. You see a lot of splendid scene viewing when you begin to have the good type of skill. Now, if you are thinking about data, accounting data, disclosure data, marketing data, innovation data, data about people, et cetera, wow, that's seems so overwhelming, right? Seems so overwhelming. So one part of my class, I use AI as a helper for me and my students for making sense of data. Another type of use of AI in my class is that I use AI as a helper for navigation in the database. So what we're talking about in University of Illinois, one of the strong advantages that we have is we have a really strong IT infrastructure, and we have great resources of free software and free data. Many of them take millions of US dollars to subscribe annually, but each of our students have free access of all of these cool data as long as they have a valid Illinois .edu email address. We have the cool subscription of words, which is something from Wharton. We have Capital IQ. If you are already a banker, trader, you know how useful and precious this is. And recently, there are interesting AI traders that are available where you can see that you no longer need to understand basically what is the structure of the SQL at Words or how to do the Excel adds on with the Capital IQ. This seems to be just you're moving some dots, moving some visualizations. You can already decide to, how do I do a portfolio that is overweighting, for example, chip production or satellite or specific devices. So all of these cool materials, we have some availability, and as Professor Vishal said, we have a great Microsoft subscription with Copilot, also with ChatGPT. We have the free ChatGPT OpenAI API for our students, and each of them get a small account that are sufficient to sustain them across many of our data analytics classes. So, and to proudly share some of my students' work from the fall 2023. Again, don't have time for that, but if you're interested, take a look at my LinkedIn account. I proudly share my students' work based on their final project. So that will be my sharing today. Thank you so much for giving me your attention, and thank you so much for participating in this session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Du. As always, wonderful. I've seen this before, and it works wonders. In fact, we exercise a lot of these things at our workplace as well. Thank you so much for that once again. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Ja to also take us a little bit through the admissions or some of the eligibility criteria to study at the Gies College of Business. Again, folks, if you've got questions, don't use the chat. Please use the Q&A tab. It will help us to answer the questions and to pick up some of the relevant ones. We're answering questions as we go, but if you've got any further related questions to the topic or about the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, I'd strongly encourage you to go ahead and put them in the chat box. But over to you, Ja.
All right, can everybody see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for our excellent professors, sharing their teaching experience and their course with our prospective students. If you join Gies College of Business, you're going to learn more, right, about Professor Zhang, Professor Du, Professor Sanchev's course in depth. So I'm here to talk about how you can get into our prestigious program. So Gies College of Business, we are the business college in the University of Illinois, and definitely we are one of the top business schools in the United States. That's probably why that you're in the session, right? You want to get a top business education sometime in your professional life. So some of the pride point, we are top 10 public business school in the United States. We're named one of the 10 business schools to watch in 2022, which is very important because when you choose a business school, you want to learn what's going on right now, but also you want to learn what skills is also like applicable in the next 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, right? And our college, Gies College of Business, we are actually practicing that. We are looking forward to the future. As you can see, a lot of the professors have been implementing, the usage of AI, the usage of artificial intelligence in their curriculum. So the skills that you learn right now in the Gies College of Business will be useful in hopefully, right, in the near future or long term. And we have a lot of alums across the world, no matter, if you would like to work in the United States after graduation for a few years, or you want to go anywhere in the world, you should be able to find our, lovely Gies alum who can offer you a helpful hand and help you settle down, help you navigate the network in the local area. And in terms of the suite of graduate programs that we offer different types of, a graduate program in different fields. Master of Science in Accounting, Master of Accounting Science, those are, 2 accounting programs. So we have the top 3 accounting programs in the United States. Master of Science in Business Analytics, that's, Vishal is the academic director for MSBA, so you're in good hands. MS in Finance, MS in Financial Engineering, if you're interested in finance or, more hardcore in the financial engineering side, we have a 15-month program, 1.5-year program for you. And also we have 2 management programs, management and technology management. No matter if you want to do accounting, in the future, marketing, supply chain, operation, or product management, project management, our management programs will be a really good fit for you. And if you don't have time to, stop working, right? You want to just upskill and earn a degree from online. We offer IMBA, IMSM, and IMS accounting for you. So you can fit into your work schedule. All of the on-campus programs are STEM designated. So you don't have to remember which one is not. Even our management program, as you can see, we infuse a lot of the analytics coursework into our curriculum. All of the programs are STEM designated, which is very important for international students. That means that you can actually work in the United States with your student visa for 3 years after graduation. So you have enough time to, accumulate your experience. You have enough time to wait for your working visa to be approved and processed. So what sets Gies apart? As the survey says, you care about your professional development and you want to get a good career after graduating from our program. We hear that, and we are working on it every day. So we actually, infuse the action learning into our curriculum. So every single student graduate from Gies will have at least 1 action learning experience by graduation. What is action learning? It's actually, you work with 4 or 5 other students in a group to deliver a real project with our corporate partner. So our corporate partner will give you their business problem, give you their real data. So you are actually working as a consultant to kind of help solve their business problems, give a business proposal. So you can actually use the knowledge and the skills that you learn from our from different courses in Gies, and then see how you can make business impact in the real world. Why is it helpful? Because most of our students said they gain the problem solving skill. They have a better story to tell in the interview room. They have better things to talk about on their resume. Basically, it's helping them enhancing their career development, and also, help them to get a better job going forward. And also, we have very, very strong career preparation for students. We offer one-on-one career advisings, unlimited time. So you can, it's actually our career services office is located on the 1st floor of the business instructional facility. You can visit them on walk-in basis or make appointment unlimited time to talk about anything that you want to discuss about your career, right? No matter if it's a resume review, or talk about your job search strategy, talk about how to present yourself at the career fair, we're able to kind of talk through that with you. And also we provide a lot of opportunity for you to meet with employers face-to-face. We have career fairs, career employer showcase, employer info session, so you can actually demonstrate your communication skill and talk about your career interest in front of the recruiter. different programs have different specialized career support as well. For example, MSBA program, we have special technical career coach to help you navigate those technical interview or technical assessment. We recently hired a technical career coach in our MSA and MS in Technology Management program to help you provide more specialized training. And also in the MSF program, Tony, probably right? There's a special course that helps students enhance their professional and the job search skills. Definitely, there is general support. There's also specialized support based on your field of study. So this is a glance of all of the application requirement or application deadlines that you need to kind of be aware of. We're still accepting applications, from both domestic and international students. But for international students, the deadline is a little bit tight because hopefully, right, in the near future, you get a good news. You want to leave enough time to pursue your student visa, pack, say goodbye to your family and friends. So definitely be aware of the next deadline. Most of the next deadline will be sometimes in March or early April. And as you can see, some of the programs, there are GRE or GMAT optional. Our MS in Financial Engineering, MS in Management and Technology Management is GRE, GMAT optional. So it does not matter if you have GRE or not. There's no waiver, so everybody can just apply without your GRE or GMAT. And our MS in Accountancy program has GRE waiver available. So if you have more than 2 years experience, you can submit your application without a GRE or GMAT. In MS in Business Analytics, we do have also have GRE GMAT waiver. So if you are from a STEM major or business major, you have a 3.3 out of 4 GPA or above. Or if you have 2 years or above or more full-time experience in business or data analytics, you can submit your application without a GRE or GMAT. Some of the program will have a kind of an interview component during the application process. Some of the program you don't have to do interview. Most of the program you need to submit a video essay to really record a few minutes of video for the admission committee to assess your communication skill. Because that's very important. We want you to be able to present yourself, right? We want you to have a good GPA, good campus involvement, and also we want you to be able to talk about those. For admission decision, most of the programs are rolling based. So it doesn't, it means that if you submit your application early, you get the admission decision early, right? So don't wait until the last day of the deadline. And for MS in Finance program, the admission decision is released after each round. So for MSF, you just need to make sure that you submit all the materials, including your reference letter and everything by each deadline. All right, as I said, the next deadline for all of our programs, the final deadline for all of our programs are listed here. So, make sure that if you really don't have time to submit by March, at least you can submit sometime in April to be considered for the fall or summer intake. I understand that everybody has your individual questions to ask, like, hey, I have this GPA, I have this years of experience. Can I pursue this program? So my presentation in the last few minutes is just a start, just a general overview of all the programs. But our admission advisors will be happy to talk with you based on your special circumstances. And please scan the QR code to connect with our admission advisor, so we can kind of, spend 15 or 20 minutes to talk about your special case, so we can kind of advise which program fits better for you, or how we're going to help you navigate the application process. All right, that's all of my presentation. I'm happy to answer any admission related questions in the next few minutes for the Q&A, and then I'll give back the presentation to Seed Education.
Thank you so much, Ja, for this wonderful presentation. We've heard this a few times, and we know that candidates that go study at the University of Illinois Keys College of Business obviously always have a wonderful experience. We've got quite a few questions in the Q&A tab. We have around 5-6 minutes here. I'm going to add the other panelists as well. To spotlight so that we can try and look at some of these questions that have come in the chat box. My first question to you, Dr. Vishal, there was a question in the chat, by one of the candidates saying that, what is the point of actually doing a master's or an MBA when they've studied an engineering or a computer science degree? Because you're using more AI in everything. Maybe this is a good question. Maybe this is something that we'd like you to talk about as to what's the difference in an a bachelor's or an engineering degree, especially with computer science, and what today's MBA programs have, especially rather the MBA or the masters, which is specializing in AI.
Yeah, in fact, now with the ability to use these models, and they're getting better, right? They're not all there yet, but give it 6 months, 1 year, they will be able to do most analyses, most summarization, most computation as well, by just specifying the problem clearly enough in English language, right? But that part of specifying the problem clearly enough is only possible if you understand the concepts and you understand the domain and understand what has worked in the past, understand some frameworks of, okay, how do I decompose this? And as Professor Fay was saying, computational thinking, right? What is that about? That's about understanding what a client's problem is. Could be a client, could be an industry analysis, and then breaking it down into parts, and then you could hand it over to the AI. But if you don't know what you're talking about, you have no way of verifying what the AI is returning to you, right? So one is breaking down the problem into enough detail so that you can then hand it off to AI or agents, as we are increasingly hearing these days, that you only know if you understand the business. You can only appreciate a problem if you understand what the foundations are. So that, in fact, makes a non-technical education more important after you've got your technical education. And some people might say, okay, why do we need to learn computer science anymore if AI is going to do all the code? The same argument can be used there, that arguably AI as an augmenting technology will make somebody who knows software engineering 10x more productive. But if somebody who doesn't know software engineering, like me, I'm not a coder, I'm not trained in software engineering. If I start using AI, I have no idea if it's giving me good code, if it's giving me secure code, if it is giving me fault tolerant code, and I will just use it and then my system will fail. So you need the business knowledge and you need the technical knowledge, assuming you're going in a technical domain, right? Yeah, if you're doing in the policy space, yeah, you don't need a computer science degree potentially, right? But certainly, I think knowing the business, knowing the function, whatever it is, accounting, finance, strategy, venture capital, whatever your core focus area, is now more important than just technical skills. So I think combination, and you can choose to do a generic MBA, or you can do specialized skills like financial engineering is much more specialized than a finance or an MBA. So that would be my response.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Vishal. Just to summarize, I think it's more of understanding the problem, because computer engineering or computer science will take care of a lot of the theory, but the practical application in the real world is what a master's or an MBA would advise. Dr. Fame, there's a question around what is the right age to start, right? there are some early birds into this particular audience as well. I think they were considering studying some of the bachelor's programs, but but I know that we're talking more of the masters and the MBA here. But in order to start a career in digital marketing or or in data analytics or in what you do in accounting, right? What is an early age to start off? And apart from the curriculum, what are some of the other resources that you would recommend students to actually look at? Because sometimes the Indian education system is not updated with the current world in terms of AI, in terms of digital marketing. It's more things that we'd like to learn on the internet. Any recommendation on resources? And as a college student or as a young professional, what can one do in order to continue to upskill?
I really like that question, Sharon. I think it's a great question. I can ask you a follow-up question. Okay, so what would qualify someone as a great tennis player? What would qualify someone as a great swimmer? Like when you see someone who runs for all the time, would you be able to tell even if this person is not running?
Yeah.
I guess the answer is yes, right? So if you see someone who always goes to gym, who runs for marathon, who trains all the time for this and for that, you can almost tell even if this person is not playing tennis or this person is not swimming. Because what? Because this person already have a good muscle memory.
Yeah.
Of what he is always good to do. Even the pose of this person when standing, you can tell this person is trained for that kind of sports. Now, data analytics or AI or training for business is something that you don't see when you are standing there, when you're sitting there. But as long as you begin to engage in a conversation with that person, okay, you know this person knows what she or he is doing. Because even though you cannot immediately see what this person is working on a computer, but then the way this person approaches the world, the way this person approaches the conversation, just like what Professor Vishal was saying earlier in his answer, you have to know the questions, you have to know the foundations. So I guess this is sort of not so relevant, but to me, I think is very relevant. That is, the earlier the better, because you asked for the age of getting into this, and I would say the earlier the better. One is the earlier the better. The second is never be complacent with yourself. That applies to me as well, and also to Professor Visha as well. We should never become complacent of ourselves, because the knowledge we have for today is going to be outdated very soon, and we have to keep learning, keep updating our curriculum. I think the advantage of U of I is you see the professor here who are incentivized and who are internally motivated to develop the curriculum that keep updated with the world. So in terms of getting updated with AI, AI just came 1 year ago, and you already see this humongous impact it has for the world. So I would say that we should keep a growth mindset. The growth mindset means that it's not me versus AI. It's how AI can help me grow. And it's never like I have a competition with AI. And you should not think that if I cannot beat AI, I better give up. That's not the mindset. The mindset is that I should grow. With the help of AI, I will become a better version of myself than yesterday. Not necessarily a better version than all of my peers or than the AI itself. It's become a better version of myself than yesterday. So in terms of keeping up of the resources, I would say if you go to some good podcasts, that might be a low-cost way of getting into it. In terms of media, looking at wallstreetjournal.com is a great media resource. Going to podcasts, I would say Freakonomics is a great way of getting getting like new knowledge within economics, AI, computer science, et cetera, et cetera. Another good way is Bill Gates has a nice podcast called Unconfuse Me, something like that. So Bill Gates invites the good guests either like OpenAI founder Sam Altman or some other big players in this field, and he asks a basic fundamental questions. His purpose is that if you can unconfuse me, then maybe this information is also helpful for the world. And looking at how Bill Gates asks these questions, you know, he's very humble. He doesn't assume he has the answer. He is the founder of Microsoft, but he also needs to update his knowledge. So if Bill Gates needs to update knowledge, of course we need to update our knowledge, right? This is probably no exception as long as you are a human being.
Just to add to that, I think, so these resources, and of course, reading is the foundation of ideas, right? So read widely. And then when you have these ideas, you can use ChatGPT or Copilot or any other free tool, right? You don't need to pay for these, is to connect those ideas and then have a conversation which helps you say, okay, let me learn more about this. So by some estimates, or not some estimate, by I guess my opinion, right? Not scientifically verified. I think again, asking questions is important, and you cannot ask good questions until you know the domain, right? Which is why Bill Gates, when he's asking questions, which it might seem very simple, they are very good because they reflect his understanding over 40 years about technology and competition and strategy. So asking good questions, of course, reading widely, whatever you read, read wide, and then get those ideas, use those ideas with AI that helps you brainstorm some more, right? We talked about debating. I have a brainstorming exercise in class as well. And there's, tomorrow that model or whatever you use is going to be better. It'll have access to knowledge. You can feed it a textbook. You can almost get a reasonably good idea of a field of knowledge without needing to pay anything. And then for specialized knowledge, you can come and do a 9-month, 10-month master's and then get a credential that gets you a job. But for base level knowledge in a new area where you say, oh, I'm not sure if I should do this, I'm not sure if I'm good enough for this, I'm not sure if I'm technical enough, all of that can be done. All it requires is discipline and some practice. Then you can come and do a specialized master's or whatever, much better value for your investment rather than just coming and saying, oh, I want to do a master's before, learning anything about the area.
Interesting thoughts, very, very insightful, not interesting. I think insightful was the word that I'm looking for. I completely resonate with thoughts of Dr. Vishal and Dr. Faye. I do have some admission related questions. I know we've already gone about 7 minutes more than scheduled, but I'm going to take a 4 to 5 minutes more with Visha. I'd like to ask you, I know you've answered some of them in the chat already, but for the 213 odd people stayed in here, a lot of them are coming from India, where we've got a 3-year bachelor's degree. I'd like you to talk about if 3 years bachelor's is okay to apply to some of your programs, and when do you make any exceptions if you do?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. We've seen a lot of great students with a 3-year bachelor's degree from India, and that's a kind of a tricky question for us. Sorry, I'm muted. So that's a tricky question for us as well, because we are kind of managed by the graduate college. So the 3-year degree from India, it's kind of like the graduate college has the final say. So specifically for accounting program, if you have a 3-year bachelor in India, or like, Bachelor of Commerce in India, if you have, on top of that, if you have a CPA or ACCA, complete all the ACCA or CPA exams, then we can consider you. So the CPA and the ACCA is considered another year of study. So for other programs, if you have 3 years bachelor in India from India and have significant years of experience, usually we suggest 5 or more years experience, you could try. It doesn't mean that you're automatically being admitted, but you can try. We can kind of justify. We can try hard to justify and try to convince the graduate college that you are, eligible to be admitted into our program.
Right. Super. Thank you for that. Another question about entrance test requirements? I know GMAT, GRE is mandatory for some of the programs, and and for some of them there are waivers available. How do admissions committees review these particular scores? Is
Mm.
it the most important part of the application, or could you throw some light on the holistic admission process as well, please?
Definitely, Sharon. That's what I wanted to tell, kind of share with our prospective students as well. We do take a holistic approach in, reviewing your application. We don't have a formula, we don't have an algorithm. Well, I hope we do, so that will that will reduce my work time as well. So we don't have an algorithm right now to say like, hey, if your GMAT or GRE is over a certain a score, your GPA is over a certain score, you have experience in certain companies, you're automatically in. Like, we don't do that. We take every single application as an individual. So we try to understand your background, your motivation, your career goal, as yourself. And also we assess if we can help you achieve the career goal through the 9 months or 12 months or 15 months program. So there's no like cutoff for GRE or GPA. I can tell you we denied some students with a 330 GMAT, 330 GRE, and 3.8 GPA. We also admitted students with a 2.9 GPA with a little bit lower GRE, because we take a holistic approach, right? Your work experience helps. How much effort you put into your application is also important, because that shows your interest in Gies, that shows that you really want this degree, right? And also your career goal helps as well, right? If you have a hard to reach career goal, we think, oh, we can't really help, we can't even, work with you in a short term of period to help you reach your career goal, then we will decide that we would rather not admit you because we don't want to disappoint you, right? So it is a holistic approach. We look at your background, we look at your motivation, we look at your engagement, your leadership experience, and also we look at what you want to do in the future, right? That comes to another question that I always I saw a lot of questions from the Q&A board. Students ask, like, I have an engineering degree, I have this GPA, which program is suitable for me? I want to ask, what do you want to do in the future, right? I can say it. You can apply for all the programs. If you have an electrical engineering background and you want to do accounting, feel free to apply. Our accounting major accept all majors, all undergrad majors, right? If you have electrical engineering degree, you want to become an investment banker, right? Or quant finance analyst, go for it. We accept all majors from our finance program. And it's the same for analytics program, management program. I would like you to think about what you want to do in the next 3 to 5 years, where you want to be, what kind of job or company would you like to work for? And then think about which program is the right fit for me, right? Instead of trying to fit you into any of the programs. So that's kind of like what I want to share with other students.
Right. Thank you so much, for that. I'd like to thank Dr. Vishal. I think he's mentioned that he has to leave now. Thank you so much. He shared his LinkedIn profile for anyone who's like to come, connect with him. Thank you so much, Dr. Vishal, for taking out time, this morning and sharing your insights with us. I do have one final question, so I'd request Ja to, if you can wait back, but I'll let Dr. Vishal say a few words
Thank you.
before he leaves. Yeah, thank you
No, it's
so
a
much.
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. A pleasure to meet so many prospective students. We look forward to seeing many of them here soon. Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Dr. Fay, as well, for your wonderful insights and some of your comments in the chat about an interesting podcast. I look at Freakonomics more often than not, so I can second that that Dr. Fay has shared. Any final thoughts, Dr. Fay?
It was great opportunity to meet all of you. Thank you for taking this taking this chance just to learn and just to experience. For any of these like practical application related questions, feel free to go to Ja. She will be super helpful. And also our school has a great career center as well. So when you're looking for career advance, you want someone to hold your hand step by step to tell you what are the struggles you're facing and to tell you what are some potential job opportunities. And Gies does have a great career center for people to go to, in addition to faculty and the research, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Fay. My last question to you, Ja, before we wrap up, I know we just have a minute as per schedule. Would you like to share some thoughts about scholarship opportunities for students from India, Ja?
Yeah, definitely. We do have a lot of scholarships for both domestic and international students. We offer partial scholarship to students who based on with merit-based and also need-based. Different programs have different approach. In some of the programs, you're automatically considered for any scholarships, no additional work that you need to do. Some of the program you need to write a very small, 250 words essay that's built within the application portal that you need to show that you need a scholarship. So the scholarship amount is typically from 5,000 to, I would say, 15,000. So if you get any scholarship, that's the range. So that's kind of counted as partial part of your tuition and fees. So besides scholarship, you could also fund your education with some on-campus jobs as well. So you can find hourly paid student worker jobs within Gies College Business. So you can help do research with our professors. You can work in our office to be a student ambassador. And also outside of Gies College of Business in UIUC campus, there's a lot of opportunity to do student work. So those jobs are hourly paid. As an international student, you can work up to 20 hours per week to kind of earn additional income. There is no full tuition waiver, TA or RA or GA-ship either, because you only are going to be here for 1 year or 1.5 years. We want you to focus more on your study, on your professional development. Working for professors are great, but hey, if you're a PhD student, maybe that's more important than getting a job right away, right? So, and also in Champaign, the cost of living is relatively low, within about $1,400. I would say $1,400 to $1,500. You can basically cover your housing, your meal, entertainment, everything. For your monthly spending. So when you consider your total expense to attend any master's program or graduate program, living expense compared to compare living expense between different locations, that could be one of the factors that you consider the funding as well.
Super. Great, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ja, for that. Just one quick point and a reminder for candidates 176 of you who've patiently still stayed back after 75 odd minutes of this topic. I hope you've enjoyed it. One quick point I wanted to make is that Seed Global Education is also providing a scholarship. So if any candidate is looking to apply to the Gies College of Business, apart from all the scholarships that the university offers, you could also apply to a scholarship, a business leadership scholarship if you're looking to study any of the business programs. If you're a woman, you can also apply to the Seed Women in Leadership scholarship, which also will help you to contribute to your higher education career goals, where we also offer close to $5,000 worth of scholarship, which will certainly help in some form or the other. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Fay and Ja for taking out time from their busy schedules to having a conversation with us. I hope we've learned something about AI, and we've answered most of your questions. We had close to 65 odd questions. No, about 55 odd questions rather. And this has been helpful. For those of you who had come in late, we will share a recording of the session with you tomorrow on your registered WhatsApp number, and we'll also send it via email as well. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Fay, Ja, and to the 170 of you that are still here. Have a nice rest of the day, rest of the evening, wherever you're joining us from, and do log into more sessions hosted by Seed Global Education. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.